Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel, Juliet Neilcraft. So today is time for hashtag Take 5 Art. So it's the Take 5 challenge. I always love this challenge. It's lots of fun. I used to do it well before I was invited to be part of the team, so it's always fun to do. So the 5 prompts for this month are markers, acrylic paint, dip pen. I don't actually have a dip pen, so I am going to exchange that for a fountain pen, gel pen and something vintage. So that is what we're going to do today. So I've had a little hunt around my stash, maybe cheating slightly. If it is, I'm sorry. This is a lot of you know that I took a lot of the classes over at Kit and Clouder, and after one of her, I think it was her first ever monthly one actually, she did with it was a polka doodles image, and it was like a night sky, and I just really loved the effect of that, and I ended up experimenting quite a lot with that. And I can tell it's when I was going through the classes, because you know I've been really experimental with the skin colour and everything, so I really like that. So that has been coloured with my alcohol markers, but it takes me hours to colour with my alcohol markers. So I have sort of reached into my stash and just used stuff that I already had in my stash. Now, for something vintage, I have this gorgeous music paper, which I bought in a shop, and I love it because there's notes. Whoever it was that was learning, they've written notes all over it, so I do quite like that. So I'm going to layer that down first. And then I'm going to pop some clear gesso over that so that we can start playing with our mediums. But I'll maybe pop off camera while I do that. Okay, so we've done that. I'm now going to have a play with some acrylic paint. So that's us used our vintage element. So that's good. And I'm just going to try having a little play with some acrylic paints, and we can see how we got on with that. So these are from Pebio, so I'm just going to randomly pop bits and pieces on. I've chosen colours that I think will go well with my main image. We'll see. Oh, a bit heavy handed there. Actually, I could probably drag some of that over here like that. There we go. I love painting with my fingers. I don't know, there's just something really nice about it. Always reminds me of, is it the film Cutting Edge? The ice dancing. Oh, I don't like that blue. Never mind, we'll fix it. It will become a background layer. Right, the next thing I was going to do was use one of my stencils. I'm trying not to use wet wipes, so I have got some cloths here. So what I'm going to do is try and dampen this cloth. These are, I found these whilst clearing the loft. These are the what do you call them? When my daughter was a little baby and I was feeding her. These were the little sort of muslin cloths that I used. So I thought, why not use these? They're slightly less textured than some of the other cloths that I've been using, so it's fine. Sometimes the cloths are nice. It's nice to get the bit of interest, but sometimes I don't really want the texture, so I've started using this instead. Okay. Why is it every time I do a take 5 I'm never overly happy? Where's my sponges? I don't know what it is. I just always seem to go through a real pain barrier. I love the ideas, I love the prompts. It seems that it's going to be okay in my head, and then I start working on it and I always end up fighting with it for some reason. Right, I'm going to knock this back because I really don't like the colours. Well, I do, I just don't like the blue, and I don't like how dark they've ended up, so I'm going to try and knock this back. Let's do a bit of stenciling over this. So I'm just using a bit of gesso. I'm going to try and knock this back a little bit. meet the colours down. Okay, see how we go. Not panic just yet. I have to say though, despite going through this pain barrier with every single take 5 that I've done, I've always ended up completing it and making something. So I'm sure we will get there. Okay, I'm just going to dry that off a little bit. So I'm thinking I'm going to work out what I'm doing with this image, because that's going to hide a big bulk of that anyway. I definitely think, because I've gone down the vintage route, that I'm actually going to tear this a little bit. Well, actually I like the effect because the alcohol markers have bled into the paper. It's quite an interesting effect. Now I definitely want to keep the moon. So this is going to take up quite a bit of the page, so we can see how we can use it, and then I can always possibly use some of these bits that I've torn off to fit on the page a little bit and add a little bit more interest and cover up that blue that I don't like. So yeah, that's not too bad. Okay, cool. Right, what else can we could maybe have sort of like a torn strips like that at either ends. Okay, I quite like that, so I think I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to collage a bit more music paper on as well. I think I'll maybe pop you on fast forward though while I do that. Okay, so I have gone from struggling with this project to really loving it, which is quite surprising, so I'm quite pleased with that. It's funny because purple's not a colour I naturally go for at all, and it was funny because I'd stopped recording, as you would have seen, because I kind of edited two bits together, but and then I was trying to find my scissors, because honestly if you could see the mess that I am crafting in, it's absolutely shocking. I honestly look like I have been robbed or vandalised or something. It's horrendously bad. I really need to sort it out, it's so bad. So I was trying to find my scissors so that I could trim the edges that had sort of gone off the edges, and whilst I was doing that I found this scrap of little paper here that I'd used to make some of my Alice in Wonderland projects for the No Spend November, so it coordinated beautifully. So as I say, I don't use purple that often, so the chances of me finding something that was sort of in the colourways that I was using on my desk were not that high, although seeing everything that's on my desk, I suppose the chances of finding everything that high. Oh, it's so bad. But I am planning on we normally go away at the end of the year to my in-laws, but we've just got a kitten, and so we're trying to work out what to do about that. We didn't time getting a kitten very well, to be honest. I used to think, oh, that's terribly sad, people staying at home for the sake of their cats instead of going on holiday, but I think I'm going to have to stay with her, because she's just really little at the minute. I know eventually cats are quite independent and she'll probably end up going outdoors, so we'll be able to sort of get somebody to feed her and that, but at the minute she's too little. But I have loads on at the minute. It is very, very exciting, but a little bit chaotic as well. So I'm hoping that, you know, one of the jobs that I might be able to get done whilst I'm on my own for a week with kitten sitting is possibly get this horrendous mess that I am currently working in sorted, so that I'm all clean and fresh for lots of work that I've got going on to do. So I've just kind of popped a bit of gesso between the various layered pieces just to tie them together and also to help to make the image pop. So I'm just going to quickly dry that. Okay, so now that I have knocked it back, I'm going to emphasise it again. Sometimes it seems counterintuitive, but to me I think it does make a difference. I wasn't liking that blue, so I'm glad I've sort of lost that. And actually the contrast of light and dark is really what makes something stand out. So the fact that I have added that white and now I'm going to end up adding a dark border around the edges, it means all that collaging and the frame now that, you know, we put the effort into putting in there, we've tied it together so it doesn't look like random pieces of paper sort of mashed together. But then we're also sort of emphasising the fact that that collage work is still there by just kind of going around the edges and doing this shadowing. So I like to do this with my Inktense pencil. As you know, that is because Inktense has the properties of watercolour. So it's got, I find watercolour a very forgiving medium. So it has the properties of that and you can get some lovely movement in it. But as the name suggests, it's ink. And it's waterproof once you have finished doing it. In fact, you can do clothing with Inktense. You also have to be careful when you're using it because if you wet it and wash it off, that's you had it. It doesn't wash off because it's permanent. So I am going to continue to do the rest of this. But I do find it a little bit of a process and I will probably soften some of the edges that I've already done. This is sort of me starting my base layer, but I don't like it looking like a harsh line anyway, so I will sort of soften that up a little bit. So I'm just going to, as normal, pop you on fast forward while I finish that off. So I have messed up my moon. There was me saying that, you know, you have to be careful with Inktense because, you know, once it's down there and it's wet, it's permanent. And I spent quite a lot of time colouring this image. Probably, I don't know, an image like this probably would have taken a good, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 hours. It takes me a good few hours just to colour a girl like that. So I'm a little bit gutted, but we've got, because it is in the moon, there's sort of different in, what do you call it, there's different colours and shades and tones in there anyway, so I'm thinking a bit of gesso over it there. We'll just sort of blend that in like it never happened. Okay, I am using my marker pen again to do my usual edging. Lots of pens in this challenge, which is good. I have plenty of pens, that is for sure. Edging this is a little bit tricky because I've got a lot of layers and wetness and all sorts of things at the edges, but I do always feel that it does add a frame. Okay, so I don't have a dip pen, but I do have this Jane Davenport fountain pen, so I am going to use that just to do some doodles around the edges. And then I will hunt through my gel pens and we'll work out what we're going to do with that, and then that will be us having done all the prompts. I'm not sure that it's my page finished, but we'll have gone through all of the prompts anyway. So let's just see how we go with this. It's years since I've used a fountain pen. Do you know that? I hate to think when it last was. Never used it on mixed media. Like, I used it for writing, but I don't know, I've always had an obsession with pens, so like a nice fountain pen, you know, I have been bought some in the past because, Yeah, the obsession with pens started as a little girl. Hence why I've got loads of pens to pull out for this experiment. Okay, I am going to have a rake through my gel pens because they're not... It's not something I've used in such a long time. In fact, sort of my daughter's sort of inherited them, so I'm not exactly sure what's here, but I'm going to have a rummage through. Okay, so I've had a rummage. We have a marker pen in here that's metallic, and I'm just going to sort of edge it over the top of my painting there, my colouring, because where I've put some of the gel medium, it looks really shiny, which bothers me somewhat, so it might just... Hang on, it says this is water based, I wonder if I can move it a little bit. Oh, I can. Right, okay. Wasn't expecting that because it's a pro marker, but I just noticed on the side there it said water based, so let's get a bit of movement going here. Who knew? I have to take these back off my daughter. Okay, right. Let's add a bit down here as well, just to marry the two sides of the page together a little bit. Okay, I definitely think we've used the marker prompt. Okay, I've got some different colours here, so I'm thinking I could add some stars, because that wasn't something I did. It's kind of in a lot of my colouring now that I have these sort of flicked stars. I like doing them in the hair as well, adding a bit of sparkle, but I haven't, it obviously wasn't at that stage of my crafting fads when I did this image, so I'm just going to add them in now. I'm just going to blast that with the heat gun a second. Okay, so I think I am pretty much there. I just want to put some sentiments. I have a dream. That's probably, yeah, that looks quite good because it sort of matches the colours, and she's, you know, sitting above the clouds, so I think that that probably is all good. So let's, I'm just going to add a little bit of gel medium to make sure that sticks down properly. And then let's emphasise that using something or other. Use the Derwent pencil again. It's just so that we can actually see the sentiment and it doesn't get too lost on the page. Oops. Okay, and then once that's dry, I maybe doodle. I wonder if I can splash with this. Probably going to regret this after a while. I don't want to break my pen either. It's brand new. I mean, I bought it ages ago, but I've never actually even put the ink in. It's just sort of sat there. No, that's not going to work. Oh well, never mind. Draw some little squiggles round with our gel pen. We're giving everything a fair, yeah, something or other. Okay, so that's my finished piece. I've used the markers, the acrylic paint, dip pen, gel pen and something vintage. So this is my take, and it's Sincerelylenthe that has done the prompts for us today. So please do check out what all the other ladies have done. Their details will be in the description box below. Don't forget you can join us. So if you use the hashtag Take5Art or let one of us know that you're there, and Kyra will put you on a playlist, or you can join us on Instagram as well. Please do, because it's lots of fun. I do really love this challenge. If you've enjoyed it here, please do consider liking and subscribing, and I will be back again very soon. Okay, take care then, and goodbye.